Indy Mogul.
Hey everyone, welcome to BFX, the show that teaches you how to make your own special effects the cheap and fun way. This week we'll be making a prop of a very famous weapon. It's been called the Chicago typewriter, the trench broom, and the chopper, but most people know it as the Tommy gun. Back in the olden days, the Thompson submachine gun was favored by police, soldiers, and criminals. Building a prop Tommy gun is going to be very tricky, but it's been requested by Samuel A., Mafia Problem, The Bullet, and The Third. Let's spin the wheel to determine our budget and then get started on this project. Also, make sure you stay tuned to the end of the show for a big announcement. Hacksaw, aluminum angle, mending plates, recycled toy gun handle, plumber's epoxy, a shower rod, a 35mm film canister, a manila folder, a scrap 2x4, and an old film can.
I'm here to see Helen.
Best Job Ever is a weekly series profiling the coolest jobs in the tech space. Check it out at bestjobsever.net.
Are you listening?
Maybe you'll find your best job ever.
My name is Mateo, and I see movies everywhere. You're watching Indy Mogul.
Simple time lapse. Woo!
This project is rated skill level 9. Our Tommy gun is going to consist of 5 main parts: the main body, the stock, the handles, the barrel, and the ammo drum. Let's start with the most difficult, the gun body, which will consist of 2 pieces of aluminum angle. Step 1 is to cut them to a length of about 13.5 inches and glue them together. Step 2 is to cut out a slot where the ammo drum will fit. I used a rotary tool, then glued in a mending plate to cover up the opening. Next came the tedious process of cutting, bending, and shaping the end of the gun body. If you really want to save yourself some time, simplify the curves and shapes of this area. Me, I'm a glutton for punishment. Now you can add the rear sight, which is a bent piece of thin aluminum, cut a hole for the non-working slide and cocking pin, bolt on a long mending plate to act as a support for the forward handle, and finally fill in some details with plumber's epoxy. Now onto the stock. Again, I like abuse, so I cut mine from a 2x4 and shaped it with a chisel. Sand it, then paint or stain it and bolt it on. Next up is the barrel. For this I simply bought a cheap curtain rod and chopped off the end, then glued one end into the gun body, then add a long bolt through the handle support for some more rigidity. A film canister end piece and a part from an old boom pole and you are done with the barrel. The Tommy gun has 2 handles. The rear handle has been repurposed from a toy gun seen in this test film and again modded in this test film. Yay, recycling! The forward handle was cut from an old hacksaw and modded with plumber's epoxy. Bolt both in place and paint to look like wood. The final step is the ammo drum. For this I took an old film canister, glued in a spray paint lid in the middle, then covered the edges with strips cut from a manila folder. When you put it all together, paint it, then distress it, it looks pretty good.
I look at it, spend all day listening to my wife gab on, you know? Yeah. Why would I want to pay to see some other women whining? Never known you to be such a stickler over a few dimes.
Alright everyone, that's it for this episode. Thank you for watching. You know, this project was really hard. It made me realize that I need some help with all these builds. We've been doing this show for over 2 years now, and it's time to expand. So here's our big, exciting news. On Monday, July 13th, we're kicking off Season 3 of BFX. What does that mean? Well, for starters, we'll be introducing the BFX build team and going back to a build episode every week. No more of this every other week crap. Next week, we'll be taking a little break and showing you a preview of Season 3, but the week after that, we are back with builds every week.
If you need a camera dolly and you're trying to be in your cheap budget, you can always take your tripod put tennis balls on the bottom so they'll slide across the floor.